Hello and welcome to Good Morning Thailand. I'm Jay with my new jazzy shirt, and joining me today, special guest Caitlin.
Hi.
Caitlin's back for another episode for a new week, and of course the one and only Tim Newton.
I got the new jazzy shirt too.
Yes, you do. For those of you who were aware and that we've informed that we were waiting for our new shirts, they're finally here. Thaiger shirts. There's going to be a different one every day, and soon you'll be able to purchase it as well. So stay tuned for every episode to see what shirt you like.
And we should mention that they're actually made by one of our staff's family business.
That's right.
They're very nice. They're very soft. They don't crush, like you can sort of wrap them up into a bundle, throw them in your bag, take them out, and they don't need ironing, which suits me really well.
They're light and airy.
Yeah. I believe that they shrink a little bit when you wash them.
That's right. Caitlin, where's your shirt?
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys didn't get me one.
Oh, no.
And
Tim.
family business. Who's family?
Num.
Oh.
Yes. You know, he walks around with these, like, you would not get a more conservative, quiet person than Num.
Yeah.
He walks around in these Larry shirts.
He's mysterious, a mysterious man.
Mysterious indeed. But you're wearing the Tiger, you're rocking the Tiger shirt.
Yeah,
That's right.
I would say I have the best shirt, actually.
That's right, and all three of these shirts will be able to be purchased by all of you, the viewers. All right, before we get started on the show, some updates and a quick shout out to RS and Tim Brady. Thank you for being Thaiger members and supporting the channel, and thank you for being Thaiger legends. Hoorah! And as well as coffee culture.
Hoorah, indeed.
Hoorah! Coffee culture.
Hey, coffee culture.
Everybody pick up your coffee culture mug.
Cheers.
Yeah, very nice. I've actually got coffee in it because I didn't finish it before the episode. Oh, guys, did you know that Coffee Culture actually does office coffee subscriptions? So
Tell us more, Jay.
That's right. And if you have an office or a workplace, or if you work at home, you can actually get office subscriptions at coffeeculture.asia. You can choose how many times you want it per week, per day, how many packs. So yeah, visit coffeeculture.asia for your dose of coffee every day. All right. And those are your updates. We shall now move on to tell you what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the Thailand Pass. We're going to be talking about Ireland. Why? Stay tuned to watch out. We're going to give you an update on the Pattaya Bar scene and how the Pattaya Bar owners have been pushing their government and their leaders to have the reopening of bars, as well as same-sex marriage ruling and flooding in Thailand. So a lot to talk about, as well as, Caitlin, you did a Loikertong video this week because Loikertong is tomorrow, and you did 3 easy steps to make a Loikertong. Is that correct?
I don't know if they were easy, but
Okay.
yes.
Yes. So yeah, if you'd that was with you and
Natty.
That's right. Those are the magic words. Caitlin and Natty in one video. You wanted it. You've got it.
No. They
No?
wanted it?
Yes, everyone was asking for it.
Okay.
Do you never watch our videos and read the comments?
I don't read the comments anymore.
Fair enough. Fair play.
Everybody was demanding that Caitlin and Natty
Yeah.
make Loikertongs together.
Yes, and work together. Well, the video is finally here. It's going to be coming out today, as Loikertong is tomorrow, and you can make a Loikertong at home in 3 easy steps. If Caitlin can do it, so can you. Not that Caitlin would be bad at doing it. I was trying to prove a point. Anyways, let's move on. The Thailand Pass. Tim.
Okay, as I turn on my phone, thank you. Whew. Okay, so far there have been 214,000 people who have now applied for a Thailand Pass. This is the latest numbers. 167,000 have been approved, and about 86,000 had their applications approved automatically.
Yeah.
So we are getting fewer complaints about people uploading their data to the Thailand Pass. So it looks like they're slowly sorting it out. Interestingly, we're getting a lot of people saying, well, Thailand Pass just makes everything difficult to get back into Thailand. Let's all go to Cambodia, who are now allowing fully vaccinated tourists to arrive without quarantine. But you do have to do a PCR test 72 hours before your departure, and then you have to do a rapid antigen test on arrival. But otherwise, it doesn't seem to be much paperwork. There's no Cambodia Pass. There's no thing that you have to do to upload information and get approval from the government. So there are people, of course, saying, oh, but well, everybody's going to go to Cambodia instead of Thailand now. The only difference between Cambodia and Thailand, though, is Thailand is Thailand.
It's just better.
Well,
it's
it's
very
different.
biased. It's a very biased opinion.
Of course.
I'm always going to be biased to my country.
Do you know if you have to have a visa beforehand, or can you just go on arrival? And
Well, that depends on the country you come from, but I think
Yeah.
the visa situation would depend on which country you're coming from. I know coming as an Australian citizen, I had to get a visa on arrival when I went to Cambodia.
Yeah, me too. But Cambodia is magical. What do you think? Have you ever been to Cambodia?
I was going to go, but then,
COVID.
Yeah.
You must. It's an amazing place. All right. Moving on. Let's talk about Ireland. Why are we talking about Ireland, Tim?
Well, this was interesting. All this talk about, the government's pushed the bar opening to January the 15th. It's the end of the world. No one's coming. Well, Ireland has now imposed new, covering my own writing, restrictions on pubs and bars drinking because infections are on the rise in Ireland. This is what the story said. Ireland will impose a midnight curfew on bars, restaurants and nightclubs from today. Its Prime Minister Michael Martin has announced as the country tackles a fresh wave of COVID-19. He said the country's rise in infections is a cause for deep concern. So they are using the blunt tool of restrictions on bars and nightlife in Ireland. So it just doesn't happen in Thailand only. There are other countries that use the same blunt tool.
But midnight, you can still party until midnight, right?
In Ireland,
I mean, the people are just going to start earlier, right?
That's what normally happens, yes.
so you ventured down to Khao San Road on the weekend.
I did.
And you were rocking on with the locals.
Or maybe, it wasn't me. It was somebody who looked like me.
Yeah,
It wasn't me.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
It was alleged
She,
Caitlin.
she told me all about it.
All
Yeah.
right. So how long did your alleged friend stay there until?
I'm not sure, but it was past probably midnight.
Oh, your
Yeah.
friend is a shocker.
Her name is Catherine and she lives in Penny Lane. So if you know.
So just tell us the vibe there. I mean, we got the vibe looking at the videos that it was a bit free for all.
Okay, so it's very crazy. I mean, still.
Very crazy, says it all.
I mean, still it has the bars and clubs with the music blasting. I mean, the people doing the balloons. My friend did not do the balloons, but have you?
And the buckets? No,
the
I've never done a
buckets,
balloon.
Yeah, they were
What do you
selling
mean the balloons? The one with the helium in it?
helium. Yeah, we'll say that.
Yeah, helium.
No, I don't think it's helium. It's
No, it's.
helium
It's
makes
definitely not helium. He didn't get the
nitrous oxide.
But yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, moving
been
on.
trolled.
I mean, stiff drinks for a cheap price. I mean, and just packed with people. But the thing was, the street was blocked off, and you had to show proof of vaccination, or you had to take an ATK test. Like on spot, there was an ambulance, and there were like people just sticking the swabs up people's noses. It was insane just to go party.
What happened if you? What would your friend say would happen to people if they tested negative at that rapid antigen test?
I mean, I guess that they would take you away.
Take you away.
I mean,
haha.
that's a huge risk, but
Sure.
I did not notice anything. I did not see any
Your friend
reports,
told you that
or
they
my
didn't.
friend didn't notice anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then, so everything is supposed to close at 9. I mean, bars are not even supposed to be open right now, but restaurants are supposed to stop serving alcohol at 9 o'clock. So on Khao San Road at 9 o'clock on Saturday, my friend says that the police went down the road, and all of the bars just quickly turned off their music, and everyone went onto the street. I mean, you think about it, these are bars all down the street. Everyone is just crowding, pretty packed with their drink, no mask, and the police picked a spot in front of Mulligan's bar that was just empty, and there was probably, I want to say, probably 30 police officers, maybe 20 to 30 police officers lined up, did their photo shoot.
Everything's fine.
Then on the megaphone, they say, my friend translated it for me, but it was like, basically, social distance, wearing your mask, COVID is still around. Everyone's like, yeah, whatever. And then, and then after they left, everything just went back to normal.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play. Play dead.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they left, all right, boys, it's time to party.
So that's Khao San Road. If you head down the road, though, to Pattaya, there's been quite a lot happening. Can I give you a bit of a report?
Yes, you can. However, before we start talking about Pattaya,
Yes.
let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And then once we return from the break, we'll go straight into Pattaya Bar reopening. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back to Good Morning Thailand. I'm Jay, this is Caitlin, and this is Tim. And if you haven't noticed yet, but we have no MacBooks on the table because we've lost our Apple sponsorship. So, Apple, if you're out there, holla at your boy for sponsorship.
And Kellogg's are not sponsors, by the way.
We're definitely not sponsored by Kellogg's or Apple. Just
These
want
are just,
that out there.
just props. If you want to send your favourite breakfast cereal to act as a prop, that's fine too.
That's right. All right, moving on to the Pattaya Bar scene. Now, we were talking about a story earlier with Brian Flowers, who is a bar entrepreneur and businessman in Pattaya, who went on a hunger strike to try to get Pattaya to reopen the bars and the party scene in Pattaya. Now, he did... yesterday, we were talking about how his wife, I believe, and business partner went into the Pattaya government and handed in a petition. Now, we've got more updated news on this. Tim.
Yes, so I had a quick chat with Brian Flowers last night. Brian was saying that after he had his last chat with us, we actually had him on the program at a few stages. He got a lot of hate from commenters who were just talking more about the profession that he works in and making it very personal. So that's why he's been a bit quiet. Don't know why people need to be quite so nasty, but he was saying that a lot of people recently are saying that the petitions don't work. Why bother doing it? Why is the local government going to be listening to a foreigner when it comes to these matters? He said, well, it did work and there has been some changes. Now, the translation I've got is a little bit muddy, but it basically says that from December the 1st, the bars will be able to open, sort of. What he's saying is that from December the 1st, they will allow people to consume alcohol at restaurants, a bit like the blue zones. But the bars will have to rename themselves or relabel themselves as restaurants. They'll have to add additional lighting. They'll have to make sure they're SHA plus approved. They'll have to have proper ventilation, which is an interesting concept for an outside bar or a bar without any front on it. So, yeah, it looks like there has been some movement in Pattaya and something may be happening after December the 1st. How many bars will go to the effort of actually doing it? The translation I've got, it's a bit muddy, but the group will have to adjust their business model to fit the new way, to adjust the style of pubs and bars to look like a restaurant, such as openness, reduce congestion, social distancing, and add more lights to illuminate. So all this is going to stop the spread of COVID-19, but it looks like something will be happening after December the 1st.
I mean, it sounds like just a loophole to get around like the national law that, for bars and nightclubs to be closed. Just renaming it. Like, they don't need to serve food, right?
Yeah.
They just rename it. No, we're a restaurant. We can do this.
Yeah. So, you buy a beer and you get a couple of chicken McNuggets.
Everybody likes a brightly lit bar.
Yes.
I want to see your face.
Yeah.
All the way on the other side of the room.
So this is interesting, but well done to Brian and his team. They have been pushing very hard on behalf of the whole Pattaya bar scene. To his wife, who fronted up with the petitions from some 400 bar owners this week. Looks like their prayers have been answered partially, but in a very Thai way. So it looks like there's going to be a certain amount of latitude allowed in Pattaya. Exactly how that'll unfold, you'll be able to read at thetiger.com.
All right.
But speaking of petitions, so in Bangkok, there was a group of people representing bar owners and entertainers, and they submitted a letter to government basically asking them to please reopen by January 1st. Now, there's...
Bars.
Yes.
Right.
But also that they're asking that the cutoff time for alcohol, which is 9 p.m. in Bangkok, to be later in the night, because the thing is, the restaurants are less likely to hire musicians and entertainers if they have to stop serving alcohol early. So they're saying, can you please allow alcohol to be served to a later time to help musicians and entertainers?
I see. Do you have a solution for this? I have a solution for this. I think we should all adjust. Like in the Middle East, everybody goes to work a lot earlier, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. The days end at 3. And while I was working there, the happy hours start at 4 p.m. Everybody just gets smashed by it's 8. You go home, you sleep, you have a great night's sleep, and then you do it all over again.
So they just, like a daylight savings, just adjust everything back 3 or 4 hours.
For now, until January the 1st.
Yeah.
But it won't be Thailand anymore. You can already hear the hate.
For the Thai government to delay any opening of bars and things until January the 15th, to me, they're missing a huge opportunity. Now, look, I'm not a drinker, but I understand a lot of people do come to have a bit of fun and drink and relax, and they're going to miss a whole high season. So the downside for this, I think, vastly outweighs any upside. The number of cases are going down very, very swiftly, and I would have thought that they would think there is a certain proof that whatever they're doing has been working, and the vaccinations rolling out, and now it's time to start reopening that next step. But they are very risk averse.
Absolutely. We have to agree that for Thailand to be Thailand, we need the bars to reopen. We need the party scene to be vibrant once again.
It's
and
true.
Jay doesn't know what to do at night time. He goes home and he has dinner and he sits there and watches Netflix and stresses.
At about 10 p.m. I just wallow in my own self-loathing and then fall asleep. However, talking about Thailand being open, most people know Thailand as the place where you come and it's happy, everyone's so nice, everyone's so accepting. Oh my God, Thai people are the best in the world. Rightly so, yes. However, let's talk about same-sex marriage. Now, when you think about Thailand, we know that there are a lot of, lady boys, transgender community, LGBTIQ, many,
etc.
many
The alphabet soup.
Yeah. We're a very accepting country, but are we really accepting when it comes down to the law?
Well, what's happened, there's been a constitutional court hand down over the past couple of days, which I'll get Caitlin to talk about in just a moment. But there has been, I think, people sort of see Thailand as the open, accepting country, and lady boys at the cash registers, and a very open sort of environment when it comes to sexual mores. But when you sort of dig deeper into the families, it's not really like that. They're very conservative. And whilst the government have been slowly addressing the issue of same-sex marriage, it's a very slow road. You've got a bit of an update, Caitlin.
Yeah, so the LGBTQ plus community has been trying to change wording in the Thai constitution that says marriage is between a man and a woman. So there's another bill out there for same-sex partnership, but the thing is it doesn't carry the same benefits as marriage, and
the same community weight. I mean, it's a different
exactly.
thing.
It's just not marriage. They want to get married just like a man and a woman. So they believe that the wording by having man and woman does it breaches the Constitution? Well, the Constitutional Court decided that no, the wording is constitutional. So this has been seen as kind of like a setback for the gay community.
Right.
I think this is a very strange thing about Thailand, because I think the outside perception might be that Thailand is a very accepting country for gay people and transgender people, as we do have a very large community of those people. However, if you think about it, growing up, a lot of my friends couldn't come out to their parents. Thai people are not as accepting as you might think. Traditionally, parents would prefer their child not to be gay, so a lot of the kids have to hide it. Once they do get a bit older, they're a lot more open about it, but like you said, they're not allowed to get married legally, even though, you know, out on the streets it's very sometimes obvious, and you go out to the party scene and you'd see many different kinds of people. And we are accepting in general, but it's all about when it comes down to the law, or when it comes down to sensitive topics like family and you know, relationships, everyone just doesn't talk about it, or it's very hush-hush.
A lot of countries have used the road of civil partnerships, then leading to changes to their marriage acts in the countries as a sort of a general path. But there was talk about 2 or 3 years ago about civil partnerships in Thailand, but even that hasn't happened at this stage. So it looks like there's still quite a long way to go as far as Thailand accepting same-sex marriage or even partnerships.
All right, and on that note, we're going to take a quick break. Once we come back from the break, we're going to be talking about Loikertong and flooding during Loikertong. We'll be back right after this.
Isn't it time for you to come back to the islands? Phuket is open and it's never looked better. Choose your trip to your favourite island with 5 Star Marine. Go to 5starmarinephuket.com.
Welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Thailand. I'm Jay. This is Caitlin, and that's Tim in the pink shirt. You love it. You can buy it soon. Don't worry.
I don't really know what it says.
I think mine is better. I think mine's a little bit more,
It says,
you know.
It says fashion, I think, but without the O in the
It's
end.
got a little Japanese vibe to it. It's got a couple of Japanese
I should have
words.
read it before I put it on, I figured. But anyway, there
It's
you
one
go.
of those shirts that you don't know what it really means, but it looks cool, so I'll just put it on. But anyways, yeah, stay tuned for that. Let's talk about flooding in Bangkok.
Well, so what happened last week is we had a bit of a high tide, which somehow coincided with some of the floodwaters from central Thailand coming down the Chao Phraya. And so low-lying areas south of the major city of Bangkok and Samut Prakan had problems along the delta there with the very high tides and some roads being completely submerged, some roads that carry thousands of cars and trucks every single day. We've got another problem now coinciding this time with Loikertong and nothing to do with the rain, that the sea level slowly rising around the world and Bangkok sinking coinciding. They're going to have some problems in these areas for the next 10 days. So you mightn't have to walk quite as far to float your krathong in parts of Bangkok, it seems, for the next 10 days, from tomorrow for 10 days. This is going to be an emerging problem because Bangkok is not coming out of the water, it's slowly sinking in at 1 to 2 centimetres a year. So this problem's not going to get any better. And of course the sea level's slowly rising around the world. It's a problem. What are they going to do with these communities? But at least they can sell it as a Loikertong benefit, as you can just walk down to the end of your street and float your krathong in what once used to be a road. The canals of Bangkok.
I definitely hope this problem is, addressed, because we talk about this every year. This is a every year issue, and it's all fun and games when you see people come out in canoes and take some funny pictures on the street, and I'm sure people are going to make light of the situation, but it is quite a serious problem.
Well, the Royal Thai Navy, this is one of the articles, said that the water levels are expected to continue to rise until November the 28th. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of photos of this over the next week. Right. The river will rise by 1.8 to 2 metres, and in Bangkok Noi, you might have to tell me where Bangkok Noi is. I'm taking it it's south of the main city, and by 1.7 to 1.9 metres in Samut Prakan, in the area of I'm not even going to try and say that. The statement urges citizens to report any flooding that they witness. Yeah, what's that going to do except exemplify
I see water.
Yeah.
Waters everywhere.
There's water coming in my house.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for telling us.
What did they say? And then like, oh, excuse me, sir. Someone's reported a flooding.
I mean, at some stage, there's going to be a local governor or a local politician who is affected, and suddenly it will become an issue that they need to address. But this is a really big investment, big fix that's going to take a decade to sort out.
All right. Talking about things that need to be addressed, tomorrow's Loikertong. Caitlin, for those of people out there who don't know what Loikertong is, what is Loikertong to you?
To me?
Yes.
Well, for me,
Chance for a drink near the lake.
I mean, I don't really believe.
I'm not going to lie, it is actually a difficult thing to really explain what exactly it is, Loikertong. Like, I know what we're supposed to do. You know, people go out, they make Loikertongs, which is traditionally made with, is it a banana tree? The banana tree trunk.
with a banana tree
Yeah.
trunk, and then decorated with leaves and flowers, candles and incense.
And then you're supposed to go and float it in a river, washing away your, bad energy, the bad things, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like a wishful thinking for something, a better year.
Yeah, so I've done Loikertong a couple times when I lived in the south, and I lived by a river. And being new to Thailand, I don't know if I knew exactly what it was, but me and my friends, we did it to kind of, we're like, okay, let's think of everything we want to let go, or just and watch it,
And then,
float down the river. It's kind of symbolic. But I know Thais, they do it to say thanks to the water goddess.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it for the past 5 years. My partner and I go down to, there's a place in Katu each year, and buy a krathong, float it out, take the photos, and
Get wasted in the park.
we don't.
Woo!
But
Look at
up
that.
in the north of Thailand, it's got a different name, Yi Pang,
No, that's
No?
not. It's a totally different festival.
but it's held at the same time.
It's held, it just happens to be at the same time. People get it confused. So
I can already see the comments.
You're confused.
There goes Tim again.
Yeah.
Doesn't know about Thailand.
So in Chiang Mai, Loikertong is really amazing because it falls on the same time as this other festival. I forget what it's called.
Yi Pang, I think.
But they call it the Floating Lantern Festival in English, and it's like those lanterns that are
Kom
just
Loi.
the white ones with the flame, and you just let them go.
If you've ever been to Thailand, if you go to places like Chiang Mai and Phuket, you can buy those lanterns on the beach. They're very light, paper thin, and then they've got a little gas which
Yeah.
you can just float into the sky.
We do it when someone dies
Yeah.
in America.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's
Oh.
not the happiest
Oh,
thing. So that's what I think of. But in Chiang Mai, apparently there's hundreds of them.
Thousands, hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands.
They are absolutely gorgeous, but they've actually stopped doing that. You can't put those lanterns because sooner or later those lanterns come down at homes and parks.
And the wire frames.
That's
and
right, and they burn things down. So Chiang Mai had banned that last time I went to go do it.
I bet we're going to see lots of Kom Loi.
I think they said no this year.
Okay.
They've
Yeah.
been saying no for a couple of
Yeah.
years now, but you can check
What
on
does
Google
no
some
mean
of the
in
pictures.
Thailand? though?
Right, I know.
No means just go
Maybe.
do it where they can't see us.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
find a loophole, rename it something else.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly. All right. And those are all the topics for today. If you would like to know how to make a quick DIY, biodegradable, homemade Loikertong, stay tuned for Caitlin's and Nettie's Loikertong making video today. You can make one at home today for tomorrow and just, do your part to participate.
Just
Yes, Tim.
some hot news straight off the press on thethaiger.com. Emirates A380 to return to Bangkok Suvarnabhumi to meet increased demand. So if you want to find out about Emirates returning the the big jumbo Airbuses
Well,
back
they
to...
have no choice. Emirates have way too many A380s.
Yes. So TTR Weekly reports that Thailand's recent reopening to vaccinated tourists from approved countries has led to strong demand, with around 10,000 arrivals registered at Suvarnabhumi every day. So it looks like the numbers of tourists arriving, travellers, is slowly rising at Bangkok and other international airports.
All right. That's it. Thank you, Caitlin, for joining us
you.
today. And thank you, Tim.
Well, my pleasure.
Thank you, Jason, behind the buttons, and Shy editing there on the side. And thank you to all the viewers for joining another live episode. We hope you have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.